Max, where did you get your hat? What do you call this? George's Castle?
Yeah.
Ramen. I'm running late, but first it's time to pick up Paul Humphreys.
Too early.
Paul's very big on safety. He was waiting till I've actually got my seatbelt on before we've left.
Because I've had a fine before.
A fine what?
$80 for not having my seatbelt on in a car park.
What a loser! Yeah. Anyway, sorry Paul, you're not a loser, but let's go. Did you bring the shot list?
The shot list?
No planning on this, and that is what you're about to see. Something completely unplanned. Normally I'd be driving and we'd be going the right way. But anyway, welcome to the show. We're on our way to Kangaroo Island.
Kangaroo Island, about 100 kilometres southwest of Adelaide, is roughly the same size as USA, if you include Hawaii. This diprotodon was last seen looking for food on the island roughly 45,000 years ago, and have since been replaced with chickens, who apparently don't mind if you've already eaten the best bit of the banana. The Ghana people have two names for the island: Kata, meaning island, and Pentinga, meaning place of the dead, as part of the island has been a sacred burial place for thousands of years. But I'm jumping ahead. Before we get to Kangaroo Island, there is one stop we must make.
What's going on there, Paul?
Well, they've held up the traffic because they've discovered oil in the middle of the road.
Drilling for oil here in South Australia. We're soon to be rich like the Saudi Arabians.
On the way to Kai is Carrickalinga, derived from the Ghana name Carrickalinga, meaning place of red gum firewood.
And the locals here are very strict with what they allow to end up in Carrickalinga. There's no shops. In about 1980, they wanted to put a shop down here, but the locals kicked up a stink and said, no shops! No shops at Carrickalinga. So you can't shop here. That's the end of the story. One of the most interesting things that happened here at Carrickalinga actually wasn't supposed to be a Carrickalinga story. There was a generator made that generated electricity from the power of the waves moving backwards and forwards, because the sea is always moving, so why not use that to generate electricity? Well, it's a good idea, and it was put on a couple of pontoons and floated down the Gulf. It was on its way to Port Macdonald, which is closer to the Victorian border, and it got just outside here at Carrickalinga, and it sunk.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, check it out.
Yes, it is true. For 7 years, instead of powering Port Macdonald, this $7 million stately home for birds and fish was the picturesque envy of all other South Australian beaches. At this wave energy converter's core, there's an oscillating water column, originally invented by Yoshio Masuda, the father of modern wave power technology.
Even with this small amount of wave movement, you can see a big spurt of water coming up from this corner at the back here. That's the oscillating water column working. So water is actually going in, the waves are pushing it up, compressing the air, and it would spin that turbine. If it's going up, the blades would face one way. When it comes down, they face the other, and it continues to spin that turbine, generating electricity for about 2,000 homes. So I think that 7-year-old rope there, you can just imagine, would have been a bit frantic as this thing started to go down. And they've tried to come up with the solution on how to make sure that they didn't lose $7 million worth of stuff. know this is not all about me, but it is. This is Lady Bay, where I spent 5 days with all my year 12 friends. There was 7 of us. I've been 8.
Lost your virginity?
No, I found it. We will be stopping at a brewery shortly because, kangaroos.
We didn't realise it at the time, but that truck had left something important behind. Its stench.
As you can see, it's raining and it's rough, it's wintry. There is only one way onto the island. Catch this ferry. Actually, that's not true. You can fly.
Swim.
Scuba dive.
Windsurf. Surf. Kayak.
Yep, there's quite a number of ways.
There certainly was some animals in the previous trucks because the whole boat smells like a big toilet. So with that toilet smell and this weather, there's a fair chance we're going to see carrots. Some nasty weather up ahead. Ever the safety-conscious traveller, Paul always stays near the lifeboat and in earshot of the loudspeaker. It's essential to be able to spring into action quickly in an emergency.
Attention, attention! Paul Humphreys, your hot dog is ready.
I think we'd have to say that is a successful crossing. Did you throw up, Paul?
No.
No, me either.
I want to save that for the brewery.
Just up the road here is one of the most spectacular lookouts you will ever see anywhere in the world, Paul. It's called Pennington Hill. It's a fantastic lookout, but it's raining.
When you don't do any planning,
So we're not going.
eventually certain questions pop into your head.
I only came on this trip because you promised me a brewery.
And I was beginning to wonder why I'd brought Paul along. I told him I'd buy him a beer as soon as we'd visited Kingscote's busy shopping district.
Oh my God, really? We really have picked the right weekend.
The bar's open!
We're at the Queen's Cliff Hotel here. This is right in the middle of Kingscote. I was looking forward to going for a walk down the main street, as I said, and was greeted with power tools and a blocked road and rain. We've got Mason here. Where are you from?
Tasmania.
What makes Queen's Cliff Hotel?
It's for the locals. I've done in the last 12 months every state, every territory, every capital.
Well, it may be for the locals, but today it's for Paul and I. And travelling Mason made sure our visit was all the more enjoyable. Thanks, Mason.
Holder.
And much to Paul's delight, we did find that elusive brewery. And we had a beer there. And there was no one there either.
Why is it called Kangaroo Island?
Well, Paul, I'm glad you've asked. The answer to the question, why is it called Kangaroo Island, it's because it's shaped like a kangaroo.
Is that true?
It is.
Of course, it isn't. But for years, Paul had me believing that a hill in Wales is called a hill.
King's Coat. What's that story?
You may have heard the story about the Emperor's new clothes. Kingscote has a nudist beach. That's why it's named Kingscote, because when you went down to the beach, people would often greet each other. Oh, I see you wearing the King's coat. And they're referring to that story, the Emperor's new clothes. Normally this time of year, the beaches here are packed with nudists wearing their King's coats. That's where the name comes from, King's coat. The Bernie Davies Memorial Playground there, we can't show you that because everyone's in a nude. They're wearing their King's coats. That's the King's first wife back there. Did you see that?
No.
She's nude.
Bathe in that cool water. Forget about all our cares.
Kingscote Beach behind me, normally packed with nude locals.
I'm here with George Turner, and George, I understand you're the third George Turner to
Yes.
live in this house here.
Yeah. See, grandfather was George Turner, Dad's brother was George Turner, and I'm George Turner. So when the kids come in, I've got a tin car, so I tell the kids, I'm King George III, the mad one.
How many visitors do you get a year?
I get 6 or 7 or 15 carloads a day walking through here. 20 years I've done.
Did you do all this, or did your
I've done
dad?
everything.
Did you make all of these?
I've made everything you're looking at.
All of the soldiers and everything?
I've done everything. I buy them.
It's like nothing else.
You haven't seen nothing yet. I'm going to show you the Egyptian room.
George's Castle on Kangaroo Island's North Coast Road. What a find. And he gave us the full guided tour. What a lovely bloke.
That's not Egyptian. That's Greek. You put your hand in the middle and try and lift up slowly. That is very heavy.
Holy moly!
Try and lift it.
Yeah.
Solid gold.
George, what an amazing man.
And how much is the entrance fee for this whole park?
Nothing.
Head on down to George's Castle. Oh, and dancing girls not included. I've been visiting the Kellys' farm at Mine Creek since before I was born. My dad Ken, first son of Cyril and Jean, was a regular at Mine Creek, the home of his best mate and lifelong friend Brian Kelly. It's still a special place for my family, and the strong bond between the Zeitzes and the Kellys lives on. That's me in there. And there next to my brothers with a fish netted from this little creek on the property. And there's still fish in that little creek.
He's done one last one, here it comes! Yoo-hoo! Oh yeah! Hold it there. Beautiful.
It is a beautiful place where there's a healthy balance between cleared land for farming and untouched natural scrublands, which still make up over half of this property. And it's somewhere I love going back to, even if it is just to chat with Madeline or to take the piss out of Simon one more time.
Simon reckons there's a snake over here. I've got my doubts.
The 2020 bushfires saw the already tight-knit community band together and support each other like never before. This farm alone lost over 4,500 sheep, cattle, vehicles, and the shearing shed built by Simon's grandfather Bill. You could say this place was down, but not out.
We're at the Kellys' farm now, and they're building the shearing shed after the fires. We're going to go and have a look at that. We're going to have some toast,
Peanut butter. It's not just for the bedroom.
and Paul will demonstrate how the gate works for us in the shearing shed. You can open it up and then close it. Clever stuff.
So what do you do when a fire takes out every fence on your farm? Well, you put them back, of course. Simon and the boys, along with help from many friends, family and volunteering organisations like Butte Lions, Blaze Aid and the Pinaroo Footy Club, have put back about 100 kilometres of fencing at Mine Creek. It keeps the sheep in, but it also ensures the scrub will return between the paddocks. Things are nearly back to normal. Simon is still obsessed with sheep.
There's 30 merino rams and they mate 100 ewes each roughly, 2,700 ewes.
And the shearing shed is back. Same look, but with a few improvements.
concrete steps here. These are original, and there's another bit of concrete over there that's original, but everything else is newly built. Matt went to agricultural college for years to learn how to paint like this. What a lot of people don't know is that sheep love to follow a ball. And so you can see here, there's a slope. So that last pen slopes down, and when they want one of the sheep to come out, they just throw a ball in there, it rolls out the gate, and one of the sheep chases the ball, and then they shear it. Rolls back out, and there we go. It worked, see? Out he comes. Paul's the perfect person to use as the sheep here because he's from Wales. There, see, he loves it. He loves the ball.
Our time on the farm is coming to an end, but I did promise a demonstration of how these ingenious gates work in the shearing shed. Take a look.
Paul, maybe you could demonstrate how these unique gates work.
Is that what I'm here for? Is that it? 20 years in university.
Oh, he stuffed it up.
Swings both ways, just like me.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know why you do it.
There is a reason for it, because if we're in here and there's too many sheep in here, so can't shut the gate, right? Hey, yes we can.
My demonstration was better.
Welcome to another episode of That's Welding. Simon Kelly here doing a marvellous demonstration of welding, holding his welder there. See the concentration on his face here. That's some good welding action. Thanks for joining us here on That's Welding.
Paul, we're at the turn off to Stokes Bay. We've got a decision to make. Now, I've been to Stokes Bay. You've been to Stokes Bay. Everyone who's watching's been to Stokes Bay. Should we go to Stokes Bay?
No.
No. Let's go. It's too cold.
Stokes Bay might seem to be an average, ordinary rocky seaweed beach at first glance, but a short walk through the narrow, rocky walkway and you'll end up at a special kind of paradise.
I've never been to Stokes Bay.
I've never been to Stokes Bay.
Just over an hour from Stokes Bay is a remarkable place. Remarkable Rocks. That's what they're called. Remarkable Rocks, that's the name. They're in the Flinders Chase National Park and they're a group of huge granite boulders. Now is a great time to go and see them because they've just been completed following a construction period of 500 million years, according to Kangaroo Island Australia.com, one of the oldest websites in the world. Not far from Remarkable Rocks is Kelly Hill Caves. You can take a tour into Kelly Hill Caves, and when everyone turns off their torches, it's dark. Kelly Hill Caves is named after a horse called Kelly, who fell down a hole into the caves with his rider Kelsey on his back in 1880. It's true, and it's not even very surprising, as scientists attest that horses possess the equivalent intelligence of a 3-year-old child. And even a gifted 3-year-old is still pretty stupid, despite what its parents would have you believe.
You might have heard of the film The Blue Lagoon. This is the same, except with kangaroos. Here we are. It's the Roo Lagoon. This is a tribute to the movie starring Brooke Shields. She's a regular visitor here, I understand. Oh, there she is. There she is. Oh, she just ran behind that shed there. Naked. What do you think we're going to see here at the Roo Lagoon?
Paul has a unique way of communicating when he doesn't know the answer. But like so many islanders, the owner of this amazing place has a real story of survival against all odds in the 2020 bushfires. And he's had to rebuild his house not once, but twice. I'm with Johnny from Roo Lagoon here, and he makes all sort of stuff out of wood and also has rebuilt this whole place, I understand, after the fires, is that right?
After the 2025, yeah.
It looks like you've recycled some stuff here.
I have recycled the whole place. I bought a Lucas mill and I rebuilt the cottage, the homestead and my gallery out of the Lucas mill machine. Plus I bought a lot of bits and pieces off Marketplace to rebuild as well, so yeah.
Wow. And was everything gone?
Everything gone. The fire took out 100% here.
Wow.
And I was in the middle of it. I managed to escape it. I still don't know how I survived it. But
so you were here?
I was right here, yeah.
Wow.
And I drove out my HT Premier. That saved my life.
Oh, incredible.
I hit something, I don't know what it was, but I could only see the road from time to time. The white line was just there 1 minute and not the next. And I kept going up to the footy oval and parked the car in the middle of the oval. There's another 50 people with stories.
This wall, Johnny, this behind me, what's the story with that?
There's some Canadian shingles brought down to Australia for the movie set. December Boys, which was built down the beach at Snow Cove and Kangaroo Island. And I was part of the crew there doing the building, and once the movie set was finished, they basically were going to throw them out, and I said, well, I'll have them.
They look amazing. That's great.
After all that, Johnny is still in business, so drop in for a pen or a salt and pepper grinder or even a swim in the well. Paul was keen.
There's not two bulls fighting in that.
Yeah, I know, I better tell Michael.
It's important to grab some petrol no matter how small the country town is.
I think you've just gone past. There it is. You've missed the town, Paul. Well, obviously this is Kangaroo Island here. We know that because of its shape. It's in the shape of a kangaroo. Here's its little legs here. We're here, Kandana. And we're going to go all the way up here.
Yes, all the way up to the lips.
Looks more like a sausage roll than a kangaroo.
Seatbelts first, safety first. I always like to be very safe when I'm driving. Not like Paul, who'll just get in, jump in, just drive off, put his seatbelt on after he's driven off. I mean, what's the hurry?
At last. The only reason I promised to come on this trip with this boring sod is to get a sausage roll from a server. Here, Mick, have some.
I did protest about this dangerous act later, but Paul claimed it had missed me, and the replay showed that from this angle there was insufficient evidence of any contact with the face. So we let it go.
Healthy Australian cuisine. Something shocking's just happened.
We have had some feedback from viewers. Thanks for your feedback. Trevor, hello Trevor, nice to hear from you. I'd like less of Paul and more of Michael.
Cheers, Trevor.
Would that be possible? Absolutely, Trevor, we can definitely do that. Just sit back a bit. There we go. Coming up to Cape Willoughby Lighthouse up ahead.
So it's $5.50 to look at it from the outside. So from this distance, it's probably only $2.
Yeah.
And this is your old information centre. You want some old information.
Well, that's Kangaroo Island. Thanks for joining us. Join us next week where we venture into Japan.